Hey, what's going on, guys? I've been playing Last Oasis since it came out, almost to 500 hours, and one of my favorite things to do in this game is to grapple and wingsuit around. I'm part of started a clan called Squirrel Team 6, so you can imagine we're all about knowing how to squirrel suit around and get from A to B as fast as possible without using a walker. The wingsuit really just opens up the game in a whole different way. It allows you to do kind of tasks like special op kind of mission stuff, sneak up on people without them knowing you're coming because you don't have this big loud walker. And so I think it's an important part of the game. I think it's a part of the game that a lot of people miss out on because they don't really know how to do it effectively. So with that said, I want to bring I'm going to teach you guys how to grapple, and then we're going to move on to wingsuit. Going step by step, starting with how to get momentum going with the grapple, how to get that aim down so you're not just flying off in any crazy direction, and then bringing in the wingsuit to that to make the grapple even more effective. So with that said, let's get into it. So when it comes to getting the most momentum possible as you can on your swings, you want to make sure that your anchor point and you are as far away from each other as possible when you're grappling onto any kind of tree, because the more arc there is in your swing, the more momentum you're going to be able to build up while you're also reeling in and building momentum that way. So it's like a double momentum builder. So I'm going to go ahead and start going. I'm going to just sprint forward and hit E, start hitting E, start reeling in. I pretty much am constantly hitting E here, and I'm also hitting W and A, or you could do W and S to make sure you throw off your swing so that it's not completely center, so that you don't hit those tree stumps and break your power. But as you can see, I'm letting myself fly really far away from these anchor points, and I just have so much pent up momentum already going. I think I hit a chunk there, but you can just keep going. So let myself fling way back. Make that anchor point as far away from you as possible and get as much arch as you can, and always reeling in, always reeling in. So let me show you here. Here's a big swing. And I'm up. As you can see, I am at even with the towers. Now this is another issue here. If I didn't have my wingsuit, I would have just taken a ton of damage because I wasn't paying attention to which direction I was swinging myself in. Or grappling trees before I got myself into a bad situation. So with that said, let's work on aim. Alright, so you can see in a place like this where it's going to matter a lot about your aim, because the last thing you want is to be caught out in the middle of this open field here. So let me show you how aiming can really help you in a situation like this. You just want to make sure that you are looking at where you need to go, lining yourself up, and grabbing that tree. So I'm lining myself up here, and I'm going to build up momentum in that direction, and I'm just going to let go and send myself flying that way. To adjust your angles a little bit, you can be using A and D, but the main thing is knowing those grappling points that is going to fling you in the right direction. Just like that right there. Again, I'm knowing the direction I need to go. I'm looking over there, and I'm trying to figure out grapple points here that's going to send me flying in that direction. I'm going to go reverse here and fling back, and then line myself up, and then I'm going to send myself flying in that direction. It's all about those grapple points and getting yourself to move in that direction. Again, building up momentum. Can be a little tricky sometimes. Get yourself caught in weird directions. But if you look right here, go ahead and pause the video. I'll show you. So I'm not lined up perfectly right here, but I can make sure that I let go at the right time, which is right here. And boom, now I'm sent flying in the right direction. If I would have let go too late or too early, I would have either gone too far to the right or too far to the left. So that's where practice is really kind of come into play, is just practicing when to release to send you in the right direction. So here I just want to do a little bit of a demonstration to show you how this can actually be used in kind of a real situation. So I'm not using my wingsuit at all here, and I'm going to swing from these trees all the way to the top of the tower by aiming myself towards the gate poles here, by using my A and D keys to make sure I'm not hitting these gate poles. Just swinging right in between them. If you guys have ever swung on these gate poles, they can be really annoying. They're hard not to get caught up on and break your momentum. And then boom. No wingsuit needed. I'm not going to land on the top. Actually, luckily, so I don't break my momentum and take fall damage. And there you go, just like that. Without even a wingsuit, you can get around just super fast, super easily. And if somebody was up here, you could, engage in a fight or do whatever. So, yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the wingsuit. All right, so for the wingsuit, to actually go and do special ops with us in our clan, we require you to do a certain A to B within a certain amount of time using the wingsuit, just to show that you have the base level skills to keep up. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is I'm going to do the obstacle course so that you can see, maybe you could do it and kind of get your own sense of kind of where you're at. So it starts on this mountain and it ends on the mountain over by Northwest Lake. So basically it's South Lake to Northwest Lake. I'm going to go ahead and do it a little bit slower just to show you guys and talk you through what I'm thinking while I'm wingsuiting. So really we're going to take all those principles we just learned, but we're just going to apply it to being able to go farther with it with the wingsuit. So when you're starting off on these cliffs like this, it's always important to get a good jump and then start immediately pressing S so that you don't run into anything. So what I usually aim for is I want to stick as high as possible. I'm going to go to these red trees right here. And now notice I'm going to go ahead and cut off before I get there. And now I'm building all of that momentum while I'm falling. And I'm just flinging myself towards there. And see, I just can get a ton of air because of the way that I went into the tree. I fall into the tree and I wait for the grapple icon to appear, so then I know I'm going as fast as possible and I'm as far away as possible from my anchor point. Therefore getting as much power as I can. Now here it's super important. One of the reasons we like this route is because you do have to deal with this open field. Now obviously I'm kind of showing you the right way to go, but sometimes, like the first time I did it, I jumped from that pot of trees to that cluster of trees right there where my head is, over there, which could potentially be faster. It just depends on if you're skilled enough to use these smaller trees, not these ones, but these ones right here, without touching the ground. It gets really sketchy. So just like that, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Look at the map, see where I'm headed here. I could go over this hill, or I can go around this mountain. I think I'm gonna try and go this way because it looks like that over there is more towards the center. You gotta really be keeping an eye on where the trees are, because you don't want to fly into an open field, because even though the wingsuit makes it easier to get places, you can still easily fly into an open field like that where there's no trees and now you're just stuck there. And why it's important to know this on ops is because a lot of times you can be getting chased by people. Walkers could be out there, they see you, and if you don't, as somebody as a wingsuiter that doesn't have a walker, if you get stuck out in the center of a field, then you're pretty much dead if you end up getting zerged or something like that. So you got to be super careful. Again, just falling into these trees, super important. The momentum you get while falling just helps you go so much farther. Now you do hit stumps sometimes, it can't really necessarily be avoided all the time. Just make sure. Again, I got kind of a weird side spin on that tree, but I let go at the right time, which sent me flying in this direction. Like what we were going over with aiming. Just get a ton of air as long as you're doing it right. You get those really far arches, you grapple as far away from the tree as you can. You just let go. I think it's important. I was going to speed this up a little bit and just go over certain points, but I think it's important for you to watch the whole thing. Just because it's about practice, it's about repetition. Notice kind of just how I keep falling into it, how far away I am from the tree. I know I'm going to be able to get into that grapple range. There's been times when I first start where I let go of the wingsuit a little too soon and ended up falling out of the range or not getting close enough to the tree, and I ended up just falling and hitting the ground. Again, I released too late there, so I went straight up in the air instead of going forward. So you got to get your release down as well to make sure that you fling off into the right direction. Now here, this is sketchy. You got to make sure you turn and adjust here because there are no trees over there. Alright, now let me show you the mountain that we end on here. Looking for these trees. Again, that one got pretty close there. Now I have a little too much momentum here. Alright, and then boom, this should be a good swing to get me over here on top of this mountain. And boom, that is the end point. So I will look at the video length and see what time, because that actually seemed to be a pretty good run. So yeah, please let me know what I did wrong, what I did right. If you liked the video, go ahead and thumbs up it, subscribe. I'm going to be doing a tutorial every week. Next week I plan on doing a PvP tutorial going over all the different weapons, like what's the difference between the paddle staff and a mallet blade and when you want to be using each one of them. So yeah, I will see you guys next week. All right, thanks for watching.